All right, welcome to the broadcast, everybody. You're looking at a Volusion test site right now, and one thing you'll notice is on most websites with Volusion, when the site gets set up, so whether you're building it or you had somebody else build it for you, there is a help section down here towards the bottom, and maybe I can zoom in a bit so you guys can see this better. Right there at the bottom, most of our templates will have some kind of a help section. So I'm talking about specifically this. You guys notice that? How many of you guys who are here with me live have noticed that they have a help, or it may not even say help desk, it may say something like frequently asked questions, FAQ of some sort, right? The page may have a different title depending on the template, but regardless, most of you guys will have some kind of a help section or an FAQ. If I click on this section, it's going to look a little like this, right? It'll say help, and then it's got a big sort of question and answer section. You'll see questions there. Yeah, most of you guys are saying, yeah, that you see this. Okay, so this is kind of like your FAQ, your frequently asked questions. We put it on as a default because a lot of the questions have the same answer. So you'll notice I'm going to sort of point out the ones you're going to want to edit, and I want to show you how to edit these so that they can be accurate. But you're going to see this first set heading called order status, kind of at the left-hand side of your screen there. Let me break out my pen again. This is order status right here. And then you've got a list of bullets coming down. Has my order shipped? How do I change quantities or cancel an item in my order? How do I track my order? My order never arrived. Now these are all links. So if at any one time I come over here and I click on one of these, has my order shipped, I can click on this and it links over to another section. Right here, has my order shipped, and then it's got an answer below. And a lot of the answers are kind of these generic answers that are the same for all of the sites. So this one says, click the My Account / order status link at the top right-hand side of our site to check your order status. And that would be true of any of your sites because it's all built on this Volusion platform. So a lot of these are kind of standard template default type question and answers that you guys don't have to edit and is not going to be specific to your site, but should work across the board. If I wanted to edit that section, I'll show you how to do it here in just a second, okay? But let's find a question that we actually need to edit. So just so I can point some things out here, let me see if I can grab most of these. Okay, I'm going to highlight these here, and let me just mark the ones that most likely you'll want to edit. You're going to want to edit this one right here. How do I contact you? You don't need to edit how do I use a coupon, how do I navigate the site, how do I find my product. None of the buyer's guide stuff you need to edit. When will my credit card be charged? When will my credit card appear on my account? Nope, this is all standard. I need a copy of receipt, standard. I have questions on my charges. This one, potentially you'll need to edit. Do I have to pay sales tax? That one needs to be edited. Guarantees, this one right here, low price guarantee, probably. Privacy policy, you don't need to edit, but the privacy policy itself, somewhere else you'll need to edit. Security, you don't need to. None of these under order status. My account, most of this, no. This one, yes. What is your return policy? When will my order ship? This international section, probably all of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this one too. How do I return my product? So you see that? I know it looks kind of messy, but these are the ones that I would probably get in here and change a little bit. How do I contact you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 9 or 10 of these you may want to change. Now, if you've never changed any of this and you're like, oh no, I've been live for a while, am I in trouble? Of course not, right? I mean, all of this stuff is already created to where it's got answers in all of them. So there's content there. It just may not be real great on some of the ones that you may want to edit. Plus, the FAQ page is usually standard on a site. For what reason, guys? Why do you see sites that have FAQ pages? Or have you noticed sites that do? Yeah, a lot do, don't they? And what's the point of an FAQ page? For you as a business owner, why do you want an FAQ page like this on your site? Yeah, you're basically saving yourself time, aren't you? Because if a lot of this information they can find other places on the site. So you've got a contact page, right? You've already got a return policy page. You've got a shipping page. You've got pages that should already answer the majority of these, but sometimes people will miss those pages, and the last thing they do before they either A, just click off and leave your site, or B, call you or email you, the last thing they'll do sometimes is hit this FAQ page. And if they can find the answer to their question there, you just saved yourself an email or a phone call, right? So it's a time saver. Those of you guys who have newer sites maybe can't quite appreciate this as much, but imagine yourself if you're getting 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 orders a day. And not only are you getting those orders, but you're also getting questions and comments about the occasional return or question about shipping or products. And you can imagine, as good as it is to be busy, you might be shooting yourself in the foot a little bit if you would just make sure you've got the information clear on the site. All right. So that's the reason. Now for how to edit these sections. It's actually really easy. You just have to know where to look. So let's erase all of this. And let me show you where to go to edit these sections. Now, first of all, guys, you need to be inside the admin section. So we come up here and we click on the little admin link, right? The little manage store link, and it takes us here to our dashboard. We need to come here to design, and then we like to go to site content. Okay, so we're going to click site content. And then under article group, right here, you're going to select help. And then lo and behold, you guys should recognize these questions. Here is a list of all of the questions in our FAQ. All right. So if I want to edit one, and let's see if we can find one that needs to be edited. How do I contact you? Let's start with that. I'll click on that once. Okay. And so you have the article title. Let's say I don't like the way that's phrased. How do I contact you? Right? Maybe I like, how do I email you? Right? Because you don't have any other contact information. Or maybe I like, what's your contact information? Whatever way you want to phrase it is fine. But you can actually edit the question itself right there. Okay. And then you can come down here and edit this information right here. And say, if you need to contact us, please email us at whatever, xyz@gmail.com, or call at, right, assuming that was a real number. Now, quick question, do you guys have to have a phone number on your site? Is that a rule to have a phone number on your site? The answer is, of course, no, right? Most of you can just have a Gmail and that's fine, or some kind of an email account. You don't have to have a phone order or a phone available for people to call and ask questions. Okay, good. Now, what if I wanted to link this over to my actual Contact Us page, right? Let's assume I had a Contact Us page made already, and if they click here, I just want to send them there. So I could say, for more information about how to contact us, please click here, right? And then what I could do is I could highlight, click here, just like that, and I can click the little chain link icon right here. Click that once, and then select Insert Link. And it's going to ask us for a URL. Now I can't complete the process of creating a link unless I know the web address or the URL of the page I'm trying to direct the person to. So make sure you know what that is for your Contact Us page, right? Let me click out of this. Let's go back here and visit my site. Now I don't have a Contact Us page here. Not on this test site anyway. Actually, I've got a Contact Us link here. But that's not what I want to use. Let's just assume for a second that this company info page is our Contact Us page. I would come up here, I would go to the page, and I would highlight this right up here at the very top of the screen. Right, this in my address bar is my URL for the page. Let me make sure I highlight that so that's clear to everybody. I know that's small, but that's not the point. You can do this on your computer pretty easily. That's your URL. So if I copied that, which I'll do now, let's copy that web address, and then I go back here and I highlight click here, click on the chain link, hit insert link, and then paste it here in the URL, and then hit insert. That, see how that created the blue link? And then if I save it, that would actually create the link that I'm looking for. Now granted, it's linking over to an About Us page, but if I were doing this legitimately, I would have already set up my contact page and then been able to link right over to it. So you could do it that way. It might just be easier, so you don't have to make them click again. It might just be easier to write out another About Us or Contact Us page, or copy your existing Contact Us page and put it here in this article body, right? Okay, I'm just going to delete that out for now. All right, so remember, if you want to go and edit any of these questions, we go Design, Site Content. Right here under Article Group, we select Help. And then here's our questions again. Notice this is the question we just did. We changed the question to what's your contact information. So other ones that we should do, we already pointed them out, but this one right here under guarantees, if you click low price guarantee, I don't know if I necessarily like that as a guarantee. Can we really guarantee our prices are low? We can, but that's all very relative, right? Low is compared to what, right? You could say you have a low price guarantee. Notice it's not a lowest price guarantee, right? There's a pretty good distinction there. So what this says by default is it says it is our commitment to provide you with the best value at the best price. We value your business and strive to keep our prices low and save you money. What does that sound like to you guys? Sounds like a mission statement of some kind, doesn't it? And that sounds okay. So maybe we don't call this our low price guarantee. We could call it our mission, or you could say, what's your mission? Or what's your mission statement? And then you could come in here and write out something. Okay. How important is this page? I don't know. I don't think it's that important, but it's there as a default. And it's just nice to have another place on the site where we can potentially sell ourselves as a business. Here's another one. Now there's an international shipping section put in here by default. International shipping is number 12. And there's 4 questions here. The vast majority of you guys will not do any international shipping when you start. So where it says, do you ship to my country? Click here. And I would just edit this section completely. So let's delete all this out and just say we only ship to the lower 48 of the USA, right? Or whatever your policy is. I think most of you guys have that policy. If you have questions about our policy, please contact us. And we can maybe even just link this like we did on the other page, right? So that should be fairly straightforward. So let's just make sure we edit that out. That's there by default, guys, because eventually maybe we will have an international shipping section, all right? As your company grows. Now, in theory, you can delete out some of this stuff. You see this delete button right here. If there's a question you absolutely don't want there, just hit delete and you're done. Or if there's a question I want to add to this international shipping, I can click add. I just need to make sure I add it to whatever category ID I want. So number 12 is international shipping, but let's say I wanted to add something to guarantees and whatever, I want to create, what's your return guarantee or whatever, right? You think of the question, but I can create new questions to this list if you don't think it's sufficient. My best advice to all of you guys as you're doing this is edit the couple that we pointed out and forget about the rest. I've actually seen a couple of clients over the years that get in here and start looking at each one of the questions, and they want to edit everything and make it sound perfect. And can I just suggest that you make a couple of changes and then launch your site and move on? Because do you want to know what? Most people won't even look at this page, but there's enough that we want to at least make sure the main questions look good and are taken care of. So again, if you feel like something is missing, feel free to either elaborate on one of the sections or come in here and just hit the add button. But make sure when you hit that add button, you're putting it in the right category ID. And then you could create your own question and your own answer below. All right. So pretty easy, guys. That's it. I don't think I'll share anything else with you about the help page. I'll open up for questions for just a second, and then we'll finish up, okay? There actually might be questions already. Let me just check the comments. All right, let me address this. Christina says, I've been told by Dun & Bradstreet if I do not provide the customers with a phone number and address, I will not be trusted quickly and business will suffer. I don't really agree with that. For a startup company, is business going to suffer? No, of course not. And I can say that pretty concretely because I've done a company that didn't have anything but an email on it, and I was making sales every single day. Would it help potentially to have a phone number and an address on the site? Sure. Does it add credibility? You bet. Will the business suffer if it doesn't? Absolutely not. You might lose the occasional sale here and there, maybe, but to say that your conversion rate would drop terribly significantly if you don't have a phone number, I don't think is totally accurate. And you could make that argument about a lot of things on a new startup site. It's like we recommend that most of you guys start with like 100 or 150 products and then you launch it. Well, does only having 100 products on your site affect your business? Probably. Would it be better if you had 1,000? Absolutely. But if we make every little change and try to make the site perfect before we actually start marketing it and trying to get customers to it, we'll never ever get it launched. So that's a personal choice. You want a phone number? Great. There's actually a service called Google Voice that's free. You can go to google.com/voice, sign up for a free phone number, and you could make that your business number that you add to your website. That'd be something we'd talk about later. But for those of you guys who are interested in the phone number, Google Voice is a good option. Is there a way to hide some of these questions? I really don't think there is. You kind of have to either delete it or keep it. So if you don't want it, delete it. Um, if you like it, but it sort of doesn't say something accurately, change it. But I don't believe there is a way to hide it. Good question. Good question, Maria. Maria says, why wouldn't you want to put your contact info on your page? Well, if you're like a lot of my clients, of course you want to have contact information on the page for sure. So at a minimum, you absolutely want an email address. The question isn't whether or not you have contact info, it's whether or not you include a phone number in that contact info. And you know what? A lot of you guys are busy. Some of you guys have jobs you work during the day, and you can't take phone calls. And so, do you have to have one? Definitely not. But I would say at some point, if nothing else, get one of those free Google Voice numbers. And what's cool about them is if somebody calls your Google Voice number, it looks just like a normal phone number, and you can't take the call, you can just have it connected to where it rings into your computer, and people can leave messages and you can access them through your computer, and then you never have to take a phone call. You just check your messages once a day, and then if you get a message, you could call somebody back. That's one way you can do it. I've had clients who actually like to take phone calls, and you can actually make Google Voice route the phone call to your cell phone. So it'll forward right over to your cell phone, and you can take it just like that. Um, so I don't know. It's totally up to you. If you want to be a little more hands off, just leave your email address there. And if you don't mind being a little more hands on, sure, absolutely put your phone number there. It certainly can't hurt. It can only help. If you put your phone number on, Elaine, you won't necessarily get um, well, you will get sales calls. So that's actually a good point. Uh, you're if you put your phone number on there, I promise you, marketing companies will find your site and they will call you and try to sell you a bunch of garbage, stuff you don't need. And there's lots of shady marketing companies out there in the internet marketing space. There just is. It's too bad that there's companies like that, but I suppose there's companies like that in every industry. They'll find your phone number, they'll call you, they'll make it sound like they're going to give you a consultation or be your friend and help you with the site, when in fact, their ulterior motive for talking to you is simply they want to build a relationship and then try to sell you something. And I'm telling you, you'll get those calls if your phone number is on your site. So most of you, I wouldn't recommend putting the number on and connecting it to a phone. You'll drive yourself crazy with sales calls. But if you always have it ring into a voicemail through Google Voice, then that problem is solved pretty easily. Good question. Yeah, Elaine, you say you already have calls. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, I think we've talked about this a fair bit in some of these webinars. When you start an internet business, I don't know how it happens. Our company certainly doesn't sell your contact information. Your contact information is sacred to us. We're not going to just give that out to anybody. But it does get out sometimes, and you can expect that. I've told you guys years later, after owning sites and selling them and getting rid of them, I'll still get calls from people that are like, "Hey, I heard you were the owner of such and such.com. Do you have a few minutes to talk?" And it's like, that website hasn't even been around for 4 years. What are you calling me for? And by the way, how did you get my contact information? Right? Those people are out there and they will try to call you. So just be vigilant. It's like anything else. People see a new business starting and they see dollar signs and they're looking at you like, hey, I can sell you a bunch of stuff. And guys, you don't need it. And if there's a question, if you need it, make sure you contact your coach. Okay, guys, that's enough on this page. I hope this helped enough for you to get in and fix your FAQ or help desk page on Volusion. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact your coach, and we will see all of you guys next week at our next Volusion training. Thanks again.